Hello and welcome to our UNESCO Youth World Peace Day and Life Improvement with Self-Awareness, made especially for teens and young adults. And just to be aware, this program is being recorded. My name is Stephen Marcatelli, the Secretary of UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness Club, or referred to as UNESCO BMW Club. I work as a physical therapist, offering rehabilitation to those with various physical injuries and/or diseases. However, my true love and avocation is to offer the platform for inner, outer peace and balance through the vehicle of UNESCO BMW and Sahaja Yoga Meditation, our partner. As a secretary for UNESCO BMW, I would like to mention that UNESCO BMW has three main goals. One of promoting global peace practices, protecting the ecosystem, and thirdly, encouraging art and culture. In UNESCO, we bring forth these goals through collaboration with organizations such as Sahaja Yoga Meditation and Hood College. Today's program will help our attendees develop stronger soft skills, such as improved self-esteem, balanced mental and emotional outlook, teamwork dynamism, so as to be successful in scholastic studies and to be effective players in future career settings. Today's program will begin with a talk on nutrition and healthy lifestyles by Professor Ann Davis of Hood College. This will be followed up with inner self-development skills through the vehicle of Sahaja Yoga Meditation. Afterwards, we will offer a pre-recorded music piano performance by Clelia Cavallaro McKeon from New Jersey for our meditation time. We will close with concluding remarks about today's program and allow for Q&A time. We will monitor the chat box in Zoom and the comment section in YouTube and answer your questions. Before we dive deeper into our program, I would like to put forth an audience poll. Please take your time for 1 minute or so. We're going to play some nice music as you enjoy that process of answering the questions in the chat box, if on Zoom, and in the comments section if you're on YouTube. I'll read the questions. You can see them, of course. What are your expectations for today's program? So that's the first question. The second question is, how old are you? Third question, which country are you living in? Fourth question, how did you hear about us? And ideally, if you can also share your email, that would be great. We can follow up with you via email. You can send your answers to the host. Now, I'd like to keep moving on. Hopefully you've all filled out the questions, answered the questions. I am now honored to introduce our guest speaker, Professor Ann Davis of Hood College. She is an innovator in nutrition, health sciences, and she is a public health teacher, researcher, leader with a PhD in public health, an MS in allied health, and a BS in food and nutrition. Welcome, Professor Davis.
Thank you.
We're all looking forward to know more about your expertise in the arena of nutrition and public health. And I am particularly interested to know if there is a relationship between proper nutrition and academic success.
That's a very good question. And the answer is yes, there is. And a lot of research has been done in early childhood and elementary school. And that's why actually the school breakfast program and school lunch program was created, because young children were going to school and not having breakfast or couldn't afford lunch. And it actually deters cognitive learning. So that's a great question.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you for having me here today.
It's our pleasure. Our pleasure.
And good day to everyone who is joining. I'm going to talk a little bit about healthy eating over the next 20 or so minutes and how it contributes and is a part of a healthy lifestyle. Let me see if I can advance the slide. Here we go. So specifically what I want to talk about is choices, and these are choices that we make, whether they're, and it doesn't matter where in the globe you are, there are choices that we make when we eat, some physical activity, and some new evolving trends in nutrition that are happening. Now, if you happen to live in a westernized country, instead of the old knowledge of the basic 4 food groups, which were breads, meats, fruits, and dairy, really the westernized diet has a new 4 food groups that we have fallen prey to. And that's what they call the meat sweet diet, where a large proportion of our diet is from sweets, sugary beverages, red meat, processed meat, and fat, more specifically fried foods, French fries. There was a study done probably 5 or 6 years ago as far as what are the first foods that are typically eaten by toddlers, and the #1 choice was French fries, which is a little disappointing and disheartening as far as building health habits for young children. So choice, as far as what we choose to eat, is a lot of times born out of culture. It's born out of family rituals, traditions, and ethnicity. But no matter where you live on the globe, you can eat healthy. And it's all boils down to choice, balance, and variety, which we're going to talk a little bit about. In the US, we have dietary recommendations, and this really demonstrates some that there is the My Plate method, as far as dividing up your plate as food choices that you eat. But a lot of people, and myself included, we don't eat like this. Do you eat a balanced meal at every meal you eat? No. So a lot of times, it's really throughout the day as far as how you're balancing and choosing foods to have a healthy diet. So what is some of the important compounds here? Definitely healthy fats. Fats have gotten a really bad rap in the past with all the data on preventing heart disease, but there are some very healthy fats, and you need fat in your diet because there are certain fats that our body cannot make, and we have to get them from the diet. So some of the healthy fats are olive oil, canola oil, and omega-3 fatty acids that are either in some of like almonds, nuts and seeds, or in seafood, fatty fish from the ocean. We need to pay attention to limiting our sugar in the diet, and that's hard when you eat a lot of processed food, and more specifically, if you eat desserts or you eat sugar sweetened beverages, soda, that type of thing. Processed food tends to be more unhealthy. So the more processed food you eat, it tends to kind of process out the compounds that are needed for health, such as fiber, phytochemicals, antioxidants. So you want to eat food in more of a natural state. And we all need a lot of high fiber. And again, with the processing of foods, a lot of that fiber gets processed out. And if you consume, at least in the US, typical bread or rolls or crackers, you're only getting in a serving less than 1 gram of fiber. And how much do we need every day? We need 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. Why is fiber important? It's good for our gastrointestinal health. It's also good for our cardiovascular health. And it helps to prevent some diet-related cancers. So what is good to eat? A lot of times people avoid nutritionists or dietitians because they think that all they are going to do is tell them what they can't eat. You can't have this, you can't have that. But there are so many good things to eat in this world. A lot of fruits and vegetables, and this is the Mediterranean diet. It's also known as a lot of other diets like the Mind diet. But basically there is a pyramid here where the top tier foods are foods that you want to eat very little of, and the bottom tier foods are things that you want to eat every day, like fruits and vegetables and whole grains. And your protein sources would be more of your seafood. You want to limit red meat. And by doing this, you're also limiting saturated fats. Now, this diet has been studied in a number of fashions, whether it's been studied as an intervention or they actually follow populations that consume Mediterranean diets. So those cultures that follow a Mediterranean diet, they have a much lower incidence of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and this diet more recently has been specifically looked at as far as preventing Alzheimer's disease. So I want to talk a little bit more about sugar and portion control. Sugar is hidden in so many different foods. And, a lot of people think, well, what's wrong with sugar? Well, sugar doesn't cause diabetes. What causes diabetes is being overweight or obese from consuming the sugar, and that interferes and can cause diabetes. So the biggest intake of sugar, at least in the US, is from sugary drinks. So sweetened fruit juices, fruit punch, even sports drinks, soda. And it's very hard, at least in this point in time, to see a decrease in that consumption. So if you have a 20-ounce bottle of soda, the amount of sugar in there is the same amount as eating 6 glazed donuts or 18 chocolate chip cookies. So there's a lot of sugar in the soda. And besides the diseases, we mentioned, it's contributing a lot to our obesity problem and dental caries. So with this slide, I just want to show you the focus on soda, but how soda has changed over the years. So in 1916, have I been muted the whole time?
No, just for about 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So you can go back about 10, 15 seconds, that's all.
Oh, go back. Okay. Well, if I had a better short-term memory, I could go back. Okay, sugar is a large problem, and it's mainly from our soda intake. And as far as disease states, it's one of the biggest contributors to obesity. The other thing that people don't know a lot about is that sugar can also contribute to cardiovascular disease. Why? Because the high blood glucose from eating sugar can make our arteries stiff. And when you have stiff arteries, it makes it easier for fat to latch on to the artery walls and then, create a blockage. So 1916, a typical serving or bottle size of soda was 6.5 ounces. By 1950, it had expanded to 6.5, 10, and 12-ounce bottles. And then today, if we look at, we have 12-ounce cans. We rarely see a serving less than that, 20, 24, 32 in the big gulp of 44 ounces. So 44 ounces of regular soda would be like eating 12 glazed donuts or 36 chocolate chip cookies. It's a lot of sugar. And it's predicted in the average American over an entire lifetime will consume 3,550 pounds of sugar. That's like 1.5 tons of sugar, and that's not good. Okay, so physical activity always goes along with nutrition. We need to be active. We should, it's not healthy to be sedentary. It's very hard in this day and age as far as being sedentary because one was COVID, two, there's digital apps for everything. There's television, there's gaming. And the other thing is that activities that used to be considered household chores, such as raking the lawn or housework, vacuuming, that is all, at least in the Western world, individuals don't do that anymore. They hire people to do that. So they themselves are not getting that physical activity from what they call activity from daily living activities. So in 2008, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services put out a physical activity guidelines for adults, and it hasn't changed since then. And the recommendation is that there should be 2.5 hours of activity 5 days a week. And that really boils down to 30 minutes each of the 5 days, or you could do the 2.5 hours all in one shot. It's considered to be moderate intensity aerobic activity per week. So you don't necessarily have to go out and buy special equipment or a gym membership. Brisk walking is certainly considered moderate intensity activity. And this is great to do with friends. I know when I was in college, we had like a running club as far as, getting each other to be active. The other thing as far as being healthy is to be at a healthy weight. And I've mentioned a lot about obesity along the way. Healthy weight is pretty well defined by BMI or body mass index. And if you don't know your body mass index, I think this should work. This is a website, an NIH website, where you can plug in your height and weight, whether it's in inches and pounds or meters and kilogram. And just to look at the underweight category or how the classification of BMI happens, normal is 18.5 to 24.9. That's normal weight. Overweight is 25 to 29.9. And obesity is considered a BMI of 30. So I think we have time. I'm going to put in mine so you can see how it works. So I'm 5 feet 6 inches and I weigh 121 pounds. And then you just click and my BMI is 19.5. So I'm within the normal range. So even if you don't have this link, if you go to the NIH website, it'll be easy enough to find. Now I hope I can get back out of here. Okay. Nope. Here. Okay. The other thing about healthy eating, oops, excuse me, is a lot of people will eat out of boredom and stress. I don't eat out of stress, but I definitely eat out of boredom. And what happens is that ends up being what's called mindless eating instead of mindful eating, because when you eat out of boredom, you don't really pay attention to what you're eating or how much you're eating. And that's where the weight can really creep up. Now, stress, people that do eat out of stress, they tend to eat comfort foods, and those foods tend to be higher in calories, lower in nutrients, so they call them empty calorie foods. And again, the weight can creep up. Along with boredom and stress, it's good to try to have foods that are high in melatonin and serotonin, especially before bed. Why? So you don't eat before bed. And the foods that are high in these types of things are poultry. That's why you get tired in the US after Thanksgiving. Spinach, cherries, kiwi, milk, fatty fish, and a lot of these foods are so rich in other things like antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, iron, that type of thing. Now, the trends across the globe are in nutrition is sustainable nutrition mainly, and the offshoots of sustainable nutrition, because we know we're really exploiting the resources around the globe, and a lot of that is our food supply. Additionally to that is that we have a huge amount of food waste, which is further compounding the program as far as pollution and emission of greenhouse gas. So what we can see that in your generation that you're going to be highly involved with is more of a plant-based diet, because we know that animal foods really contribute a lot more greenhouse gas emission than plants. We're looking at mood and cognition with food and sleep. And just recently, sleep is so important as far as the physiology and cognitive development. So young adults need a lot of sleep. You know, teens to young adults, you need a lot of sleep because your brain is still formulating. Microbiome, that's the type of foods that we specifically choose, because we do have live cultures of bacteria and other organisms in our GI tract that need to be there. There are some that aren't supposed to be there, and that's why we need the healthy microbiome to take care of those unhealthy pathogens. And along the same lines is with immune health and consuming antioxidants, good fats, fruits and vegetables. So We have come a long ways to getting to this point with the plant-based diets. And now in the US, almost 70% of the calories that people consume on a daily basis is from plant-based sources, which is very good. And with that transition, well, that's also creating a lower greenhouse gas emissions. So in summary, there's really 7 takeaways. Try to aim or maintain a BMI less than 25. Eat more of a plant-based Mediterranean diet, and a Mediterranean diet is plant-based. Increase your antioxidant foods, which is a lot of your fruits and vegetables. Decrease your sugar and refined carbohydrate intake. Other refined carbohydrates would be processed white sugar. So by eating whole grains, you're also decreasing refined carbohydrate. Increase omega-3s and have that be your choice of fat. Physical activity, and be sure to get plenty of sleep. And good luck.
Very informative. Thank you, Professor Ann Davis.
Thanks.
And I've learned a few new things. Some things I knew. Certainly, I'm going to incorporate the areas of the where I feel like I'm lacking in. Of course, I get enough exercise, but maybe a little bit too much on the picking up the sweets when I'm feeling bored. I think I can deal with that a little bit more.
Sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I
so
mean,
much.
you don't have to be perfect. It's just that, you know, once in a while,
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to be
rather than
so
daily. Right.
we have to be so rigid, but be aware, of course.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So now we're going to move on, and let's invite our young moderator of Sahaja Yoga Meditation, Anusha Vissapragada. Hello, Anusha. Please say a little bit about yourself, and the floor is yours. I'm looking forward to hearing all about Sahaja Yoga Meditation. I am a practitioner myself. However, the nuances and the depth of understanding is always ongoing, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to share with us.
Well, thank you so much for that. Hi, everybody. My name is Anusha. I'm 22 years old. I just recently graduated from my master's degree, and I have been practicing Sahaja Yoga since I was 5 years old. And to me, it's a way of life. It helps me stay calm. It helps me stay balanced. It just gives me a sense of grounding, and I'm more in touch with myself when I meditate. I'm very excited to be a part of this session today, and yeah, we can all get started. And this is where I'm going to try to make this as interactive as possible. So please do leverage the chat box and the YouTube chat as well to, throw in however you're feeling at any point in time.
Great.
So, let's all just try to relax ourselves. We'll just take a few deep breaths in and out, and just try to be calm. And what we're going to do is, if you're only comfortable if you're sitting on a chair, what I really like to do is take off my shoes and just have my feet to the ground. That just helps me feel a lot more grounded. And right now I'm actually sitting on the floor. So that's another way that I can just feel the gravity helping me and just releasing all of my stress. So, what we're going to try and do is just try to get a little more in touch with our subtle body, and just, again, take a few deep breaths. So we'll try this exercise. We'll take a deep breath. And as we're holding it, we'll try to put all of our thoughts that are bothering us from the past week, from a few days ago, something about the future that we're thinking about, and then just give it a few seconds, and then we'll let that go. So we'll just really try to do this a few times. And so Sahaja Yoga, it's very experimental. You feel everything on your fingertips, on your hands. So one thing I really like to do is just keep my hands open. So what I do is just have my hands open, just like this. You can leave it on your lap, anywhere you're comfortable. And just close your eyes. And we'll really try that breathing. So take a deep breath. And as you're holding it, put all of the thoughts, anything that's been bothering, any sort of hesitations, anything that's not letting us really be in this moment. And then just let that go. We'll just try it a few more times. Take a deep breath, hold it, and then let go. Breathe, hold, and then let go. So slowly open our eyes. And hopefully that was just, helpful to just get in a state where we're, staying a little more calm, we're a little more composed. So just to talk a little bit more about Sahaja Yoga, it was actually founded by Srimataji Nirmala Devi in 1970. So Srimataji's philosophy was, how are we able to find, or how are we able to not, unless we're peaceful inside, we're not able to find world peace. So the only way that we can seek world peace outside is by first being peaceful within ourselves. And that means that we really have to go deeper within ourselves. We really have to become a lot more self-aware. We need to introspect, be more confident, establish our self-confidence, and just, go inside. We're constantly looking for things around us to make us happy, but sometimes it really helps to reflect inside, just go deeper within yourself, and then find that happiness from within. So that's just a brief overview of Srimati Nirmala Devi. She was awarded the UN Peace Medal, and she was also invited as a UN speaker a few times. So Sahaja Yoga is very experimental, as I mentioned. I've been doing this since I was 5 years old. There's no specific age limit, but it's really helped me throughout high school. Because for me, I moved to America when I was 16, and it was when I was in high school. So for me, that transition from moving from another country and then coming to America, what really helped me stay grounded and really helped me, keep in touch with myself was to, meditate and go deeper. And that came down to, being more self-aware. And the beauty about Sahaja Yoga is that it's very spontaneous. It doesn't require effort. It's very effortless. So the breathing exercise that we also just did, it didn't really require that much effort. It's just, you just enjoy the flow. So this is, again, a very scientifically proven method. It's what you're seeing is a subtle system chart. This is a reflection of our subtle body. So in a way, if you see the numbers that are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's running all across our spinal cord. So the first energy center, it's the pelvic plexus that starts at the base of our spine. And then it goes all the way up to the 7th energy center, which is on the top of our head, which is our limbic area. So since this is a reflection of our actually subtle inner energy system, it's a little more on the quality side of things. So we have each energy center that corresponds to different qualities. And then we have the left and the right energy centers as well, which we're going to go into a little more detail at a later point. But the purpose of showing you this this energy system chart is just to make you aware that, when we go through these steps that we're just trying to get connected to ourselves a lot more, we're going to feel, some sort of sensation on our hands. And that's And, you know, it's nothing to be scared about. The reason that we feel it is because our body is connected and we are connected, you know, to the energy all around us. So when we're, you know, really trying to go deeper, since our nerves end on the top of our head and then our hands and our feet, that's where we sometimes have a few, we feel like a cool breeze, or we feel any sort of like sensation all around. So it's nothing to be worried about. It's just, you know, it's just getting connected a lot more with yourself. So it's your subtle body in a way talking to you. So if we go, we can actually get started. So it's just a series of a few steps, just to, you know, be a little more in touch with yourself. So the first step is, and at any point in time, if you're lost, feel free to open your eyes and just look at the slides, or you can follow along with me. But I'll just quickly run through what the steps are. So we're gonna put our hand on our heart, so on the left side, and then our left hand, we can just like open it and then just leave it on our lap, anywhere you're comfortable. So the second step is going to be on the upper part of our abdomen. And then we're going to go to the lower part of our abdomen. We're going to go back to our heart. And we're going to go to this joint between the neck and the shoulder, across our forehead, and then finally on the top of our head. So don't worry, I ran through that very fast, but it's again going to be a guided meditation. So just, you know, try to be open-minded, you don't have to necessarily agree or deny with any of the statements, just try to feel, and it's very experiential. At the end of the day, this meditation will make you feel good. So, you know, just try to close your eyes, stay that, you know, in that calm state again for just a couple of minutes. We'll take those deep breaths. So breathe in, hold the breath, and then breathe out. Breathe in, hold the breath, and then breathe out. So with our left hand on our lap and the right hand on our heart on the left side, this is where our true self is. It's where our heart is. Really trying to go deep within ourselves. We'll say, I desire to be connected to my true self. I desire to be connected to my true self. The inner light of joy within me. I desire to be connected with that. I desire to fill my heart with love for myself, compassion for myself, and joy. I desire to fill my heart with love, compassion, and joy for others. So we'll now move our hand to the upper part of our abdomen, moving to the second step. Really trying to go deep within ourselves, within the light of the joy within us. The true childlike energy within all of us. With our hand on the upper part of our abdomen, and the left hand continue to be on the lap facing up. We'll really feel from within and say, I want positive change. I want to be the force of positive change in me. Mother Energy, please let me experience peace within me. And please help me feel satisfied and content as I'm now connected with my true self. And my heart is filled with contentment and joy. Please give me mastery over my thoughts. So we'll move on to the next step. We're removing our hand to the lower part of our abdomen. In our subtle body, this energy center governs our attention. Let's go deeper. We'll really ask, I want a positive attention and growth. Mother Energy, please remove all the negative thoughts and ideas from my attention. Mother Energy, please give me self-awareness as I am now connected with my true self. Please soothe my attention. Please establish a state of balance within me where I'm not thinking about the past or the future, but I'm really in the present, in the moment, in the joyful moment, experiencing contentment. We'll now move our hand back to our heart. Mother Energy, I'm connected with my true self. I'm feeling the joy of my true self. I have mastery over my thoughts. Please remove all fear, insecurity, and anything that's making me anxious. Let me trust myself and my own abilities. Let me be a confident person. Please help me feel safe, protected, and loved. I have compassion for myself. I experience joy from being connected with my true self. We'll go to the next step. We're removing our hand on the left side where the neck meets the shoulder. We'll tilt our head to the right if that makes us a little more comfortable. Mother, I've achieved mastery over my thoughts. I have the pure attention. And I'm in balance. I'm worthy. I'm not this guilt, but I'm pure self-esteem and self-respect. I'm worthy. I am enough. The center governs our throat and the organs around it. We'll try to feel from inside. Mother energy, I want to be respectful to myself and to everyone. Give me the countenance in my voice, speech and words. I want to be kind and want to let go instead of feeling guilty. Try not to think of any specific incident or person, and you don't necessarily have to agree or disagree with these statements, but just try to feel what's happening. We'll now move our hand across our forehead, and we'll slightly bend our head forward just so that it's in a comfortable position. This is where our mind is. All our thoughts are here. It's where our pride is, our ego. without once again thinking of any specific person, any specific incident. Let's try and feel and say, Mother Energy, I'm not guilty, and I forgive myself. I let go, and I forgive everyone else. I am beyond these social constructs, beyond this social identity, and beyond these ego and these conditionings. We'll finally move our hand to the top of our head on the 7th step. We'll apply a little bit of pressure, and we'll rotate it 7 times in a clockwise direction. This 7th energy center, the limbic area, integrates all of these qualities that we just worked upon. Mother Energy, please establish my self-awareness and integration. Please stop all my thinking and establish me in a state of thoughtless meditation, where I'm truly connected with my inner self. Mother Energy, please help me enjoy the state of thoughtlessness and meditation. Please help me be in the present, where I'm not thinking about anything of the past, and I'm not thinking about anything of the future, but enjoying the state of silence between two thoughts. We can bring our hand back to our lap, and wherever we applied pressure on the top of our head, with our eyes closed, we'll just try to feel the silence for just a couple of minutes. whenever we're ready, we can slowly open our eyes. So I hope everyone is feeling at least a little more calm and relaxed than they did before. Um, Feel free to go off mute or drop in anything, how you felt in the chat. That really helps us. Does anyone feel anything on their hands, on the top of their head? Any sort of maybe sensation like a cool breeze or maybe a warm breeze? Any sort of tingling sensation? Maybe if there are any reactions on Zoom, feel free to use emojis as well. Also, I see some messages that people felt calm. That's really nice. That's really nice. It's kind of like a state of mind that you feel it's just more relaxed, just more in touch with yourself, a lot more grounded. Awesome. Okay. Well, hopefully the music helped, and you all are feeling a lot more relaxed. So I'll go to the next slide that we have here. It's just when we meditate, we feel more energized, calm, and relaxed at the same time. So we describe the state of thoughtless awareness where it's a gap between two thoughts. So let's say we have a thought. For me right now, I'm thinking about, okay, how was my work yesterday? And then there's like a few milliseconds when I'm not thinking about anything. But then my next thought is, okay, what am I going to have for dinner? So it's just about those few seconds between that thought about what happened at work yesterday and what I'm going to have for dinner. If I was able to, while meditating, increase the space between those two gaps, that's what the true energy is. That's when you're actually connected with yourself, because you're going beyond the thoughts of the past, the thoughts of the future, and you're just in the moment. You're just present, you're there. So that's what happens. And I think from Sahaja Yoga, what I have seen is it's you're in meditation, and it's just, you're not like specifically doing meditation. So you're just in meditation. It's kind of like a state of mind. So just to go a little bit more into the subtle body, we saw this chart before, and then I did mention that we have 7 energy centers within us, so all the way ranging from 1 through 7. And then we have the left channel, and then we have the right channel. So essentially the idea is that we want to be here, we want to be integrated on the 7th energy center, and then we want to be on the central channel, because that's going to take us to that integration. So the right channel deals with something that is, in Sahaja Yoga, everything is very symbolic, and it's a lot more, it's an expression of the subtle energy system. So the right channel relates to something that's more futuristic, anything related to like planning, anything related to activity. On the other hand, the left channel is a little more on the emotional side of things. It's when you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about unrealized desires or emotions. So the way that, an analogy that I like to use is, and again, we feel what's happening on our hands. It's our subtle body communicating with us. So it's not magic. It's really not magic. It's just that we're more in touch with ourselves. So sometimes on days I feel a warm breeze on the left channel or on my left side, and then I feel a cool breeze on the right. And then on another day, I feel like a warm breeze on my right and then a cool on my left, or I'm just feeling warm on both sides. The idea is that the things that we do on a daily basis, our thoughts on that specific day, sometimes the people we interact with, all of that affects the way that we're feeling. So the right channel, it's usually when we're thinking too much about the future, when we're planning, our right channel goes into an imbalance. And the idea is that we want to bring it back to that central channel and go to that state of integration. On the left, on the other hand, is, if we're feeling extremely sleepy, extremely like kind of, in a way, lethargic, unmotivated, or demotivated, that's when our left channel is out of balance. So the analogy that I like to give is, for instance, my left channel, which deals with the desires. Let's say that my desire is, how I was thinking about dinner. My desire is to eat pizza for dinner today. But then if I don't act upon that desire, it's an unrealized desire, which is going to make me feel, which is still going to make me feel like it's an unrealized desire. And I'll keep thinking about it. Oh, I wanted the pizza, but I didn't get the pizza. So how would I balance it from a very logical perspective? I'll call up Domino's and order my pizza. So again, it's again, that's how even Sahaja Yoga is, our, how we are connecting with our subtle body. That's exactly how it is as well. And then, for instance, on the right channel, if we're doing something constantly, we're doing activities with no desire. One of the examples that I like to take is I work in investment banking. So sometimes I feel that people are running the rat race, but then if there's no desire for why they're doing it, it becomes like a mundane job. So that's my analogy of the way I like to understand the left and the right channel. So, not be like feeling warm or like on any of these energy centers or any of these sides, it's not something that's bad. It's just your subtle body communicating with you. So one of the things that we can actually do in the next activity is, there's ways to, again, get connected with our inner self and find that sense of balance. So what we can try to do, just like a very quick experiment, we can keep both of our hands open and just feel what's happening. Yeah, this is just a little more information about the right channel and the left channel and the central channel. So let's really try this balancing activity. So we'll put both our hands to our lap or wherever you're comfortable, and then just try to feel what's happening. What we're going to do to clear out or, just try to bring our left channel to balance is take our right hand, and if you're sitting on a chair, then let it loose to the ground. Or if you're sitting on the floor, then just put your right hand on the floor. And for the right channel, you take your right hand on your lap and the left hand towards the sky, with your palm facing towards you. So the idea is that we're using the elements all around us to just bring us back into balance. So we're using the Earth's gravity to take away the heaviness on the left. And then we're using the sky, the ether, to take away the heaviness on the right. So again, we'll treat it like an experiment and just try to feel what's happening. Keep an open mind about it. So the first thing we'll try to do is just keep our hands open. Once again, close our eyes. Just try to feel, like really feel what's happening on your hands, the top of your head, on your feet. So we'll now try to, balance out our left channel. So we'll take our right hand and put it on the ground, or let it loose on the ground if you're sitting on a chair, however you feel comfortable. And then we'll put our left hand on our lap. We'll take the affirmation. Please cleanse my left channel. Please remove all the heaviness that's tied as a weight to my mind. All the heaviness coming from the past. The past is something that happened 5 seconds ago, or even 5 years ago. Mother energy, please take away all of the heaviness from the left channel into the earth. We'll really try to reflect, just try to like feel what's happening. What we'll do now is try to clear out our right channel. So we'll take our right hand back on our lap and put the left hand towards the sky. Now we're using the ether to take away the excessive heat. Our body is a machine. We're constantly generating heat by our thoughts, by our actions. And we need an outlet for that. We'll affirm here. Please cleanse my right channel. Please keep my attention within so I'm able to introspect and be more self-aware. Help me stay in this state of joy, which is the present, and not think about the future. Once again, the future is something that would happen in the next 5 seconds or in the next 5 years. Just try to feel the heaviness from our right. Slowly lift away. We'll bring our hand back to our lap. And then once again, our attention on the top of our head, on that 7th energy center. We'll just try to feel that integration. And we'll enjoy the music by our performer. So whenever we're ready, we can open our eyes. So hopefully that felt a lot more calmer than the first meditation. And if you want to continue meditating at home, that's what I do. I wake up in the morning and then I just clear out my left channel, clear out my right channel. So I feel like I have a toolkit of understanding how I'm feeling on that particular day, that particular morning, and I'm able to kind of self-diagnose. And also I know the solution for how to feel better and how to feel more in balance. So I start off my day by meditating, and then I also meditate in the night. And one of the techniques that I actually do in the night is called foot soaking, which we'll actually go over tomorrow. So foot soaking is a technique that is really helpful to stay a little bit more in balance. So what you'd require is actually just a tub, and then it could be a plastic or a metal bowl for just soaking your feet. The idea of foot soak is we're using all the elements around us. You know, we're born from this earth, we're a part of this earth. We're using all the elements around us. When we just did the left and the right clearing, we used the ground, the mother earth, and then we used the sky. So with foot soaking, we're now using the water. So it would be nice to have that tomorrow, and then, you know, just have a cup of like table salt or cooking salt, and then a jug or a bottle of clean water to rinse your feet when you're done, and then a towel or cloth just to dry your feet after. So this is something that we're going to do tomorrow, and it will definitely make you feel a lot more better. It's something that I do when I meditate every night. So I foot soak and then I continue on to my meditation. The other thing is to have like an ice pack. So that's something that also helps us, like as we went internally today, sometimes using external ice packs, you know, like a cooling element is also very helpful. So that's something that's for tomorrow. And we really hope you enjoyed the session, and feel free to please put in your thoughts in the chat, any reactions, anything you felt. It would be really nice to have everybody's email so we're able to send some more information. So I think that's all I had from my end. So I'll pass it over to Stephen. And if you're comfortable, feel free to turn on your video or go on unmute and ask any questions. This is like an open forum.
Yes, thank you, Anusha. Very nice, very peaceful. You know, like I said, I'm also practitioner of Sahaja Yoga meditation, and I find it helpful to reset the bar and reset the inner balancing mechanism in ourselves so we can be settled and handle each day with peace and joy and focus and upliftment. It's very, very nice to have that as a toolkit. Sahaja Yoga is just a blessing for me. It's always been a blessing for me. Please, in the chat box, or if you want to open up your mic, you can, you know, open up your video and share your experience, or you can ask questions. We're here to answer those questions and help you along with how you continue with this beautiful journey. So feel free to do that. I like to say that, you know, you can do a nice little check-in each day, you know, and see where you are with things. Your hands are your kind of like your tools for feeling the settlement within yourself. If your right hand is feeling warmer than your left hand, that would mean that your right channel needs more attention. It means you're overactive, you're thinking and planning and doing. If your left hand is warmer, then that means you're just reminiscing a lot in the past and feeling regretful about things, and maybe feeling so caught up in past choices you may have made. Could be things like that, emotional things. Sometimes it's both, you know, both hands can be on the warmer side, and that means both channels need a nice retuning, so to speak. And of course, you know how to do that now. Now you know how to clear out your right and left channels, as Anusha has showed us. So that's a nice thing. I'm curious, did anyone feel that coolness coming into their one or more of their hands when they were working with the meditation time?
So hi, I'm Sia. I'm gonna, Anusha, that was a really, really nice meditation, a beautiful way of explaining. I also liked the session about nutrition, it was very informative. So I'm gonna be the moderator, not moderator, the guest speaker of tomorrow. So come back tomorrow. We're gonna continue on what Anusha has been telling about the right and the left side. And we're gonna have Kriti, who is also on the call on board, who's gonna tell stories. So come back tomorrow. But it would be great to hear from everybody how you felt. I felt great. It was a lovely meditation. Loved the slides and everything. So yeah, just to introduce myself.
Yeah, thank you, Sia. Yeah, Sia is going to be one of our facilitators for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. And but the bottom line is no matter if you felt a difference in your hands, but how did you feel in terms of your settlement and peacefulness? That's a real key. And one real quick thing you can do, and anytime during the course of the day, you can just close your eyes and focus on your breathing, using the breath as a conduit for this beautiful energy, inner energy flow that we've now established within ourselves that parallels our own central nervous system. And close your eyes, keep your hands open and receptive, and just breathe along your spinal cord, along your spine, from the base of your spine to the top of your head, pausing there and exhaling through your mouth and letting go with your breath. And just focus on that for about 2 minutes or so. And it's not the breath that's doing the living work, but it's actually the inner energy that we've established and awoken within us today. And that breath is a conduit to help facilitate that inner energy flow within us and to establish its nourishment for us. And then after doing that, just open up your eyes again. You'll notice tremendously how much you've settled down very quickly into more of a balanced state of being in the present moment. It's a little trick that I do, and in the course of the day, I'm in front of the computer and I say, hey, I need to just take a little time out and just close my eyes, focus on my breathing, bring it up along my spine for a few minutes in tandem with that beautiful motherly nurturing energy within us. And then opening up again with my eyes, and wow, the world looks so much more sparkly and alive. And because I'm feeling more balanced and centered in the present moment again, and not worrying about didactics of how would I have to be doing next, or what I did 10 minutes ago and reminiscing about that. So it's really nice. So we have a few different people still in attendance here. I'm curious to hear from Jared, maybe, if you'd like to share, or anyone. It'd be just a nice touch to the program. Well, guess not. In any case, we're looking forward to having you attend the second day. We're going to go deeper into our journey together, and we will be having a certificate of attendance offered to everyone by completing this 2-day program. And let's see, let me look in the chat here and see if we have anything here. Okay. So, concluding, we have our one-on-one mentoring that's coming up. Anusha, you want to mention about that, how the mentoring will work for us? Anusha, are you there?
Yes, I was muted.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. So there's the mentoring. So on the website, you can pick your own mentor and just reach out to them if there's anything. So this is just like a snippet of all the mentors that we have.
Wow, what a selection. So you can pick and choose someone to work with and get deeper into your awareness and understanding of how Sahaja Yoga works for you. And all these beautiful mentors who've been practicing Sahaja Yoga meditation for a very long time. There's Sia.
So we have all of this information on the website, and I think we can share that with everybody who's attended.
Yeah, the website is, of course, UNESCO, BMW, as like in the car, UNESCO-BMW.org. Very simple, so very easy to remember. So I think we have one or two more slides before we conclude. Yes, so please, for any further questions and comments, as I just said, UNESCO-BMW.org or info@UNESCO-BMW.org. Very easy to remember. And we have some resource guides for us. We have I really recommend joining the WhatsApp. We have your phone number, or if we can have your phone number, if we don't have it, we can then correspond with you through that WhatsApp group. And of course, UNESCO BMW has its own YouTube channel, so you can just type that in and access that. And there are all kinds of instructional videos there and helpful videos there. And there's a beautiful website I highly recommend. It's called wemeditate.com. Very, very user-friendly and very informative. And I really recommend checking that out. And so basically, I just want to reiterate that completing the 2-day program will be a certificate of participation that you can have and utilize for your resume or for whatever documentations you want to use it for. And be ready tomorrow. We're going to have our foot soaking. We're going to actually perform that foot soaking. And so you want to have your equipment ready, your tub pan of tepid water with a handful of salt mixed into the water, plus a glass of water to rinse your feet off with, and a towel to dry your feet, and have that ready for tomorrow. They're ready to go. Have some fun with that and see how well foot soaking can really help you settle down, really feel that nice settlement within yourself. So thank you for joining. See you all tomorrow at noon, New York time. Thank you for being with us. Hopefully the journey was informative and experiential and peaceful and joyful for you. Thanks.